Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today, really cool review today. This is going to be the Mavic Pro, the DJI Mavic Pro, and I got my hands on the Fly More combo. Now this is the combo that gives you 2 extra batteries, it gives you a little carrying case, extra set of props and stuff like that. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I will have this down in the description if you're interested. Don't forget to click that link and see the current pricing and everything. I will say that this thing took about almost 2 months to get from DJI. You know, this is Christmas time and I know this thing was back ordered, but you may have an easier time come January 2017 of getting this. But it took me about almost 2 months to get this. I was a little worried it wasn't going to come in, but I finally got the shipping notice and it came in like 3 days afterwards after that. So anyway, let's get started. So it comes in this box here, and I'm just going to start pulling out some of these boxes and then we'll start opening them up. So I think this is going to be the little carrying case, Fly More combo. So this is going to be like the batteries, extra batteries and stuff. And then here's the Mavic Pro itself in its own little box. And nothing else in that box there, as you can see. Let's go ahead and start with what? What do we want to start with? Let's go ahead and start with the bag. Okay, so I've already previously just went ahead and broke these seals just to make sure everything was in here. So here's the Fly More combo bag, and it's a really neat looking bag. Let's just go ahead and take this out of the package real quick. So here it is. It's like a little shoulder bag, and look how small that is. So we're getting to the point where, remember those big huge backpacks we had to use for like the Phantom 4 and you know, the Parrot Bebop drones and all that kind of stuff? Well, check this out. So you can fit a whole drone. It looks like you can probably put a few extra batteries in there with it in this tiny little bag here. Here's a little shoulder strap with these little quick release clips. 2 compartments. Looks like that would be for the controller. That's going to be for the Mavic. We've got a little zipper here with mesh. We got a handle here. We got even a zipper in the front for maybe some cards or some small things. Looks like you could fit propellers in here. Here's where we're going to tie our strap to, or clip our strap to here. Now this is feeling like a very good durable, like leather type or faux leather material. It actually almost feels like real leather. Anyway, couple of elastic pouches on the sides, so you can just throw stuff in there, whatever you need. And in the front, last pocket is that. So, you know, however you want to do it, there we go. After we get everything unboxed, we'll go ahead and just see what we can really fit in there. So let's move over to the Fly More combo box and check this out. So this is okay, let me just go over the pricing. So this thing was, if you want to buy the Mavic Pro itself right now, this is Christmas 2016, you can get this for like $1,000, and that comes with 1 battery, just like every other base model comes with. The Fly More package was, I believe it was $1,300 or $1,200 something, and I think it's worth it. I mean, if you're to buy 2 more batteries, this charge hub, extra propellers, a bag like this, all separate, you'd end up spending like a lot more money than this. So if you've got the extra couple $100, you know, and you buy this thing, I mean, you're already investing a lot into a drone. I think this package is really worth it. Anyway, here's the battery charging hub. Here's an extra battery here. Here's another extra battery here, so 2 batteries. Car charger, which is awesome. So you're on the road, you're out on a trip, you're doing a bunch of stuff, you're trying to film, even if you're camping or something, you can charge your batteries off of this car charger if you don't have a plug, a power source. Here is a battery to power bank adapter and an extra full set of props. So with this package, you're getting a whole set extra. And that's everything in that box. And now let's go ahead and dig into the Mavic Pro box. So here's how the box looks. It's a very small and compact box. It's got this nice little handle. This is, you know, quality boxing like DJI usually does. And so here we go, we're just easily lifting open the box. We can see that it's got this contoured kind of really well done, like looks like really cardboard plastic mix. Anyway, the main event, here it is, the MAVIC Pro. So look at that. So pulling out the MAVIC Pro, it comes already with the little clear thing, gimbal guard attached. And this is kind of interesting. I didn't know they came with this, but this is actually a little rubber silicone little case for this, a little protective case. And it just kind of, you see that little ridge there, that kind of pops in right here, which will serve as cooling for in the globe and also for protection when you're not flying. You just pop this on. Of course, you don't have to fly with this globe. You can go ahead and just push this tab in and the whole globe pops off. And then you've got this gimbal little bracket here to hold the gimbal in place and transport. So I'd recommend, as much as possible, fly with this globe off, because I have heard that since this thing is so small and compact, you could be getting some heat issues with this globe on. I know that there is a slot there for some cooling, so maybe that kind of remedies that. I'm not sure if that was in the first run of these, but there it is. So you can see that it has propellers mounted up already on one set, but it doesn't have on the other set. So we'll be going ahead and unboxing everything real quick, and then we'll take another in-depth look at that. Here's the controllers. So look at this thing. This looks like a little mini, gosh, this is like a little mini Game Boy little controller. Look at that, how compact this thing is. Antennas here. Let me just go ahead and pop up these antennas. So the cool thing about this is these antennas like clip, they have a little notch clip. You see that? So you push down and that thing's not going to come apart. So if it's in your bag traveling, in your pocket or whatever, you're not going to need to worry about these antennas coming loose and twisting and breaking. So there we go. So there's the antennas. You just pop them out, put it up like this. Here is the place where you're going to put in your cell phone. This can also fit an iPad mini, which I don't have an iPad mini. I have an iPad Air 2 and some other Samsung tablets and you know, Android phone, which this can handle, but I don't have an iPad 2 mini. I may get an iPad mini if I want to have a bigger screen. Anyway, awesome looking little controller. We'll get back to that in just a second. I'm just so blown away how compact everything is getting. So as we dig in here, we can see that we've got some little tiered padding here, really well packaged. Here's a little box here. This looks like our power charger here. Put that on the side there. Digging down further into the box, we've got our little bags with our set of propellers. And it looks like that is going to be it. It seems like I can't easily pull this up. So it looks like that's it. So I'm just going to close this box up. Okay, so as I mentioned before, here's our propellers. So in each bag you get 2 propellers. Now these are the kind of self-centering propellers that are flexible and they can move around, they can swivel, so you can, it has that breakdown ability, and they'll just swing out as the inertia of the propellers go as you launch the drone. Anyway, 2 sets of propellers, same thing in this package. So essentially you're going to have to mount one on these ones that don't have propellers, these motors, and so essentially you get 2 propellers extra in just the MAVIC Pro package. Okay, as we saw before, a little battery charger, and that's going to be our link into the battery here. Definitely going to have a, there it is. Okay, so here's our power plug. Plug this into here, plug this into the wall. Charge your batteries. 2 adapters. So these are going to be those adapters where you can connect to your phone. So the one that's on here on the controller is a Apple type adapter, so that comes pre-installed, but whoops, looks like there's a couple of little spacers here they give you in the package as well. Here's a couple of other ones. So here's a USB type C, which is awesome because this LG G5 has a USB type C plug in it, So they're giving you the full-fledged compatibility of all the different kind of cables you're going to need for all the phones out today. So that's a USB Type-C adapter that you're going to install in here. And I'll be doing that in just a sec. And then the other one they give you in the box, I believe, is just a USB micro USB. So I want to make sure I keep the spacers in the corresponding packages. But you can see that this is a regular micro USB where it's kind of that D-shaped design. So if you had like an older Android phone that takes those, you can use that. Okay, and then this one here, they also give you a micro USB to standard USB cable in the box as well. So I believe that would be for something like, you can either plug this in down here. I believe this also gives like a video output. So if you wanted to like plug your tablet or whatever into this plug, you can do it that way. I don't think you can have multiple outputs plugged in at the same time. And then this may also be the plug that you can use to plug in the Mavic for if you ever wanted to hardware plug in, if this even has a micro USB plug, which we'll be checking on in just a sec. And it looks like the way we are charging the controller, I was wondering, how do you charge the controller? This is going to your phone or your tablet, so what do you do? So it looks like the USB cable they give you in the package is actually compatible with this universal type of USB jack. So you pull out the cable that goes to your phone or tablet, and then you just kind of line up the tab so that the slot is facing towards the back of the controller. You plug that in, and what's cool about this is, check this out, while you're charging your Mavic Pro battery, you can also use this charger. It has 2 USB slots, so you can go ahead and plug in to the same charger and you can charge your controller off of it. So really well done, well thought out deal here. It also has another slot if you wanted to charge your phone. Say you wanted everything to be in one spot, charge your phone or another USB peripheral, because you got 2 USB slots here. Little box, this looks like all the manual here. So we get a Mavic Pro Quick Start Guide. We have a in the box little pamphlet. We have a specific pamphlet just for the battery. And then we have a disclaimer and safety guidelines, which is actually the thickest book here. And then a little DJI Care card in the box. Okay, so that's specific to the standard DJI package, right? If you buy the Pro, that's what you get. All this stuff is the Fly More package. Without further ado, let's get to the Mavic Pro. Sorry about that, took me so long to get to this guy. First thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and show you how to mount up these propellers. So very simple. You see that how there's a little white circle around the center of this propeller, and there's none around the center of this propeller, so that's just black. So that's going to correspond to the one with the white circle on the motor. All you're doing is pushing in and giving it a little twist, just like that. So that got a clockwise twist, and then this one, same deal, pushing it in, and this one gets a little counterclockwise twist and lock. Just make sure that you are twisting and locking, and then just double checking they are locked in before you launch or anything. Unfold front arms forward. So we're just pulling this out to the front. Very nice and easy. The other one, pulling out to the front. And it doesn't give you any kind of click or lock. It's just spring tension holding it all the way to its forward position until it hits the frame there. So there's no like little click or lock. It's just like a end extent spring loaded thing. Now we need to open up the bottom arms, so we can see that we have this little, also this little indication here, unfold the rear arms downwards. So we're just pulling down like this, and same deal, there's no real click or lock, it just springs over to its endpoint. And same thing with this one. Cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off these stickers. Anyway, here it is, guys, so check this out. So the propellers, I don't think you really need to open these up before you take off, but it is probably good practice just for motor balancing reasons when they spin up, to just go ahead and get them straight before you take off, just like this. Unfold them all the way. Anyway, over here on the top, check this out. Okay, so it has a little sticker. Turn on and off the power. Press once, then press again and hold for 2 seconds, just like all DJI products on their batteries. Be sure to remove the gimbal clamp before power on. So very important. I'm gonna go ahead and take this sticker off here. There we go. Don't need that anymore. So what they're talking about is be sure to remove the gimbal clamp before takeoff. And what that means is taking off this little globe and pulling this little gimbal clamp out. So it's got 2 little grips on either side, and all you're doing is very lightly pulling this clip out. And look at that camera. So look at that tiny little camera. Awesome. So just make sure before you power on you do that. You wouldn't want to, like, you know, break anything in the gimbal. This is a full-fledged 3D gimbal with all these moving parts. So you can see that we have one point of axis, our yaw axis, and then we have our pitch here, up and down, and then we have our roll. So the roll is actually, look how small this is. This is unbelievable. So there's the roll axis. I'm seeing this little thing on top. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. So you may want to take yours off too. I'm not sure what this is for, but it seems like it was kind of hanging up inside there, so I don't want it to mess up the video. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this little protective coating that's on the top here. So there's the camera. It just amazes me. This is going to get almost as good. I don't think this is going to be quite as good as the Phantom 4 camera. I think the resolution isn't going to be quite that great in real life, but still pretty darn neat for what it is. You can see how it's got its little vibration dampening and all of its axes is there. So what a great little piece of tech. Okay, so on the front, vision sensors. These are going to sense objects if you're in regular GPS mode, kind of like the Phantom 4, and it's going to tell you that there's something in front of you, and it will stop before it hits something if it's in that standard GPS mode. Just pushing in these 2 little side tabs and sliding straight up. And this is a 3830 mAh 11.4 volt LiPo battery. You can see that when we push the button once, we have our power indicator. So pretty light and small battery, and this thing should fly for, you know, around 25 or so minutes, I believe, in real life. I know the Phantom 4 flew about 22 for me, and they mentioned it should fly for about 27 in optimal conditions, but in real life you're gonna get less minutes than what they say. Anyway, just trying to open up this. Okay, so that looks like that's where you're going to be able to access the flight controller if you wanted to hardwire in. I know these things are all wirelessly updated now, but this cable here they give you, this micro USB cable, that's where you can plug into the side if you wanted to connect there. Then if we pull it around to the other side of that USB adapter jack, we have another one here. So this one is a door looking like to the SD card, onboard micro SD card. They already have one plugged in, and let's see what this is. So this is already a 16 gigabyte Lexar micro SD card, and it also has a little is it a switch? Yeah. Okay, so there's also a little switch here, not sure what that's for, but it says Wi-Fi on one side and RC on the other side. Put this SD card back in here. Only can put it one way. It's got a little graphic on there, so you know which way to put it in. And then it just pushes in and clicks. So nice and easy. You don't need to really use your fingernails. You can just push it hard with your finger, and it does the job. I love it when they do that. Very low to the ground. These are actually like the feet that sit on in the back, and then these are the feet it sits on in the front. We got some rubber here on the front. There's our lighting, so LED lighting on the edges there. And I'm trying to find any LED lighting on the back, none here. But we do have a nice big LED light on the back there. And that should be all you need for orientation. 1 here, 2 in the front. This is like so light without the battery. It's like barely anything. Pretty amazing. So we're flipping down to the bottom, which is getting us to the good part. I'm just going to go ahead and cover this gimbal again, just to be safe while I'm handling it here. Making our way to the bottom, this is really the last part of the quad we need to see in depth. There's our 2 vision sensors, so these are going to sense the ground. And then these are our sonar sensors here. Now this one's a little different. This one uses its cameras to actually kind of take a 3D image of where it takes off of. So when it is coming back in for a landing, it's even more precise. So it's using GPS, it's using compass, and it's even using these sensors more in depth than the Phantom 4 did. So very impressive. This whole thing down here looks like a heat sink. It's like a piece of aluminum, and that's going to help it with cooling as it's moving through the air. You can see that we have cooling vents back here. And what this thing does is it sucks in air through the front. There's a fan here, so that's why I recommend flying with this thing off. You're going to get the best cooling. So it sucks in air here, passes over the heatsink inside, as well as the air on the outside is passing over the heatsink to cool it, and it's blowing the air out the back. So a very efficient way of cooling, and the reason they put all this cooling into it is because anytime you pack in all these electronics into such a small form factor, you need to make sure that they are going to be cooled, because this stuff is going to heat up. Anyway, that is the Mavic Pro in a nutshell. I'd recommend good practice. Put this globe on whenever you aren't using it, just to protect that camera. It does look like a fairly fragile camera if you tug on it too much or bump it too much. Okay, now time for the controller. There's actually quite a few pieces of plastic here, so I'm going to peel off this front on the LCD display, and there's also a little piece of plastic here on the top. So let's go over the controller a little bit. So we have this little joystick here. This is going to be for like screen menu functions, and it also pushes down in, so it has like 4 directions plus it pushes in. We have a pause button here in red. We have a home button here on the top left, a power button on the top right, control sticks. These do not click in. They're just self-centering control sticks here. On the right hand side, we have this little button that is up for sport and down for, I would assume, GPS mode. We'll be testing that in the flight test. There's our camera button to take pictures. There's our record button, very simple and very well done to take video recording. Here's our left roller. Now this is going to be, I'm assuming, the gimbal tilt. It's a roller that springs back to center but does have extents on the left and right. And then this one is going to be, it looks like our exposure button or roller, where it just is notching but it's continuously rolling, kind of like the other Phantoms are for their exposure on the camera while you're flying. Previously mentioned, here's our antennas. Here's our extents of up and down here. So you can go all the way flat almost, and then all the way up. And then you only have this amount of degree to rotate them this way and this one this way. And then on the bottom here, it looks like we've got some cooling areas, cooling vents and or speaker vents here. And then we've got that regular USB here. We've got a couple of little pads for your phone to rest on. And then this is pretty cool. This is like a grip here of rubber, so it'll grip in your phone or your tablet really well. We have this nice solid hinge design, and all the while this whole thing on the outside is coated in this really nice grippy rubber on the whole half bottom of it here, where your hands are going to touch. Not this portion, but these grips here are a really durable feeling rubber, and also the outside of where your phone attaches. So really well done here. And then I almost missed our trigger buttons. So similar to like the Phantom 4 series, we've got 2 trigger buttons. I think the Phantom 4 has the same kinds of trigger buttons in the same type of areas. So that would be, you can designate these, I think, out of the box. It's probably going to be camera menu and your gimbal pitch, straight down to straight up, a real quick pitch. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell for the controller. Really beautiful, really well done. You also got some cooling vents here and or audio ports. So man, just so amazed at the quality and the technology that they're packing into these little things. So real quick, let's go ahead and take this thing out. I need to put in the micro USB C connector that I pulled out of the box here. Okay, so those little clips they gave me in there are actually the clips that are going to slide along this rail here. So what I need to do is pull this out. So I popped that out of the top of the controller there, and then I just pushed this through. So see how this is like an Apple connector there? Don't need that. So what I'm going to do is just plug this little square, I don't know what kind of USB port this is. This is like a proprietary fully rectangular USB port that they're using to plug into the controller. So just plug that in. And then on this side, what we need to do is make sure we don't kink this cable. So I'm just going to take my little candy cane pen here and just try to pop this out. Never done this before, and I'm not reading the directions yet, but I'm just going to give it a whirl. So just a little bit of tension, and it just pops it out of its track. So I want to make sure I keep, you know, the different adapter brackets with the correct ones. So I'm going to have the open part of it facing into the controller, and I'm just going to put it in its ridge and then push down nice and tight so it clicks into that ridge. So there we go, done. So this isn't sliding like as loose as I'd want it to. Okay guys, so I tried both of these little adapter things that come with the USB Type-C connector I have in here, and they both seem like they're a little tight. So a little bit of a tolerance con here. The Apple connector that was already in there, very smooth, slides up and down on its own very easily, but this USB Type-C connector adapter for the sliding is not sliding very smoothly. So that's going to be a little bit of a con first thing out of the box. They need to kind of work on their tolerance on that USB Type-C adapter. I'm not sure if that's going to really affect it, but you know, when you're moving this thing up and down, you want it to slide nice and smooth so as to not pull on the cables too much. You can see how it's not sliding down when it's supposed to. It should have slid down so that cable doesn't bind up there. And then when I do push it in, you see how that cable's getting really tight, and this is having a hard time sliding up. So they need to work on their tolerance on that a little bit. Very minor con, but it's still there nonetheless, and I think they and everybody else should know about that. So plugging in this side here into the USB Type-C connector, just giving it a nice shove in there, and then this side you can see how it just all kind of clamps in just like so, and then we can kind of look in the inside here just to make sure that that plug is seated in there nice and tight. So that's how you mount your phone if you do want to have your FPV. This is going to have like your telemetry and some alerts and functions here, but all in all this is going to have all of your FPV on the DJI Go app. Okay, so I haven't charged anything here, just want to do a quick boot up. Took off the globe, took off the gimbal support, and that's what you want to make sure you do before you even start this thing up. Boom, clockwise, boom, counterclockwise, boom, push down clockwise, boom. So you can see how fast that was to take off. So no trouble. Go ahead and remove those if you're in the house. So first thing we want to do is turn on the controller. So I'm just going to press play here, or power, sorry. And it's telling us battery is 27% when we hit it once. You see that there on the screen? So I want to go ahead and hit it and then press it again and hold. It says connecting. I want to go ahead and do the same thing on the Mavic Pro. Push once, push in again to power on. Let's see how this thing looks when it boots up. You can see the gimbal. I just felt a little vibration here on the controller. The gimbal assessed itself, booting up, and it looks like everything is doing great. It is saying low battery, so I don't want to do this for very long. It's a very low battery, so I want to do this very quickly. Let's go ahead and get into our software here. So initially, I didn't do anything. I just plugged it in, and this is what happens. It auto-launched this app here. Go ahead and launch the DJI Go app if this doesn't come up, but I need to slide to update. So I agree, and it's going to go through an update initially. So I'm gonna have to, let me go ahead and set up, you need to name your aircraft and make sure you log into your account. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so it looks like it's updating. It went ahead and rebooted once. I just named it Mavic 1 on this screen here. Hopefully there's not too much glare for you guys to see this. But so mode 2 default, yes, continue. Here's where you can adjust these two trigger buttons. So C1 is set to center focus stock and C2 is replay. I'm not sure what that means at this point, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave it stock. Continue. I want Imperial. I want NTSC because I'm in the US. I go ahead and press OK, and then in beginner mode it looks like it sets a geofence to only 98 feet high and 98 feet away, so I want to take that off. If you're a beginner, you can leave that on to learn how to fly. Confirm your activated account, so now I need to sign into this and register. Okay, it's already at the Mavic Pro. Let me go camera. Okay, cool. So it went into the camera, and here we go. So here it is. So we have overall status, update required. I'm not going to do that update right now. I'll do that once I charge the battery up. But check it out. So there's our video on the screen, and let's see what we can do. So let's tilt the camera. So that's cool. So you can see that the camera's tilting. So that left roller was the camera pitch, and it's low battery. It's saying we're only at 15% battery, so I want to turn this thing off ASAP. But anyway, there's our little map here. You can see that there's my neighborhood, and we can go back into the FPV. So same DJI Go type of app as all the other DJI Go, you know, all the other quadcopters that they use. From Phantom 3 and up, I believe they use the same DJI Go app. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, let me go ahead and charge this battery up. On this one's going to be cool because I'm going to be easily able to record the screen. I'm using the AZ Recorder app on my phone here. This is an Android phone, so I don't have any problems with recording this screen. So I'll be recording this screen. I'll have video up on there, the raw video that's taking, and I'll have my hat cam on so you can see what's going on in here. You can see that we have a lot of information on this LCD screen as well, showing us our GPS, our battery, and all that. So you can actually fly this without the FPV and DJI Go app on a smart device if you want to. You could just fly it with just this line of sight if you wanted to. Okay, so for example, I'm wanting to put everything in this bag. Here's what we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly just put the propellers back on because I want to have these propellers ready to go when I take it out of the bag wherever I am on my journey. So really easy, just that's counterclockwise locking, and these white ones are clockwise locking. So you just push them down in the tabs again, push them in clockwise, and then we just fold these propellers up. Really easy, quick and easy. Pull the legs down, goes for the front, just pull it back, propellers, and pull it back. Just to let you know, this bottom plate does get pretty hot. Real quick, just putting on this gimbal guard. This is the first time I've ever done this, so let's see how difficult this is. I would just hold the sides of the camera, slide it in here, and there we go. It just locks. So you can see how I can't pull that out unless I push these little tabs and pull it. So that's how that locks in there. Always put your globe on too if you're going to be traveling. And I also recommend having this little rubber protection thing on there as well. So there it is, all folded up, ready to go in the bag. I got the controller folded up. These just push down in, these snap up top, and we're ready to go. I want to try to put an extra battery in there, so let's just try to open this up. Just to let you know, I did try to take a battery out earlier, and it was incredibly tough to pull the battery out of the box. I couldn't believe how much trouble I was having. I had to kind of bend and massage the box. Let's see if it gives me the same amount of trouble this time. Yeah, so just so you guys know what to expect, you may have to rip your box open or something. One of these boxes I was able to kind of do it by just pulling this a little bit It's really weird that it's this hard to take it out. There we go. So there we go. I think what it is it's just the size difference is so tight, it's going to be hard to pull out of the box. So if you get this and you're like, what the hell is this defect, and you end up ripping open your box to get it out, if with a little massaging you can get that battery box out if you got this Flymore pack. So here's a battery here, and let's see what we can squeeze in this bag. So opening up the bag here, let's see here. So I'm going to just put the Mavic in first, maybe face down. I'm going to try to leave the propellers on. Alright. So that could pop in there. I'm not really sure what the best way to do this is. Maybe this direction. Just want to make sure that no blades or anything. That looks like a good way to do it. It feels like the bottom has a good amount of padding, so either way you put this thing in, it won't really matter. But anyway, just shoving it in here, just make sure your propellers are going to go down in there and they're not getting all bent and tweaked. So there's the Mavic sitting in the case. You can see how when it shuts, it's going to be pretty tight. And then as far as the controller goes, let's see, you're probably going to want to turn it this way so that the sticks are facing out that way. So it's all pretty tight in here. Not a whole lot you can fit in these two compartments except the Mavic and the controller. But say I want to bring extra propellers, you know, I could put these right here in the front. The extra battery, looks like you're going to have to put the extra battery over in this pocket. So we could do one battery there, and then we could do, this is the other battery. I'm not going to open this because it's so tough to open these boxes right now. But it looks like if you really wanted to, you could put another battery right in here. So we got our extra props in here. This is the strap if you wanted to use the shoulder strap. Just connect that there. And then, you know, still got room for cables if you have other cables. Put it in here. This stuff you're not going to really need probably to bring along with you. You could leave this stuff in the car, the charging hub, or leave this at home and then put this in your car, the lighter adapter. And of course the charger you can just leave at home and stuff like that. So other set of props here as well. This is the one that comes with the Mavic itself. You know, we could just put in here if we wanted to, or in here. Doesn't really matter. So definitely enough room to carry two batteries with the included battery in the Mavic, the controller, a full set of extra propellers, and an extra one there that came with the Mavic. You still got room here, and so that's pretty much it. Let's just try to zip this thing closed, shut it, and we still got one thing here for documentation or whatever. While we're at it, I'll just go ahead and undo this shoulder strap. And let's see how this works. So this clips on like this. Other side here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and take off this tissue paper. So it's just tissue paper. Okay, so it does also come with a little, see if we can break that off. It comes with a little pamphlet here. Just a little information pamphlet. Really nothing much. But there we are. So a shoulder strap, nice handle here, padded handle, very well done. Very good. Feels very good. It also has a little belt strap here. So if you have a belt, you can put it on your belt. Fit two batteries, and you're ready to go. So that's a pretty good small package to have 3 batteries and a bunch of extra props. Okay, so let's go ahead and just quickly unbox these other peripherals that come in the Flymore package. Just to let you know, I've already unboxed these just to check it out. So this is not going to be the first time I have taken these out of the box. So let's see what we get. Just wanted to show you guys what's in here. So with these ones, you want to make sure you unfold the sides first and then open it up. So here's the USB hub, the charge hub. And what's cool about this is they also give you this other little guy here in the box. And what this little guy does, you can see I've already kind of ripped it. This actually enables you to turn your battery into 2 USB ports. So it's really bringing this to the next level, where if you needed to charge, say, your controller and you're out on the mountain, or you're out in your trek, your trip, camping, whatever, and you don't have any way to charge your phone or whatever, you plug this into the battery. Look at that. And you have 2 USB ports. And these are going at 2 amp. So these are 2 amp standard USB ports. So kind of neat. Turns your Mavic Pro battery into a 2-port USB charger. And then this hub will of course charge 4 batteries. And you just plug the standard charger right into the bottom here, just like this. And this is where you'd be plugging in your batteries. All 4 of them will just slide right in, just like that. And you can charge all 4, 3 or 4, however many you have at the same time. So very cool. Let's go ahead and check out this car charger real quick. This is also included in this Fly More package. Definitely giving you a load of stuff to cover all your bases, and very pleased with what they're giving us here. So you open this thing up, you got a little manual, and then we're just unraveling. And here we go. So it's just like the other charger. You don't get any USB ports on this one, but here it is. So this will go into your cigarette lighter. And here it is for to charge your battery. Now I'm not sure if this is really going to work very good with charging 4 batteries at the same time. It's probably going to take forever. But in a pinch, you're on the road, I would assume you could charge 1 battery probably almost as fast, if not maybe a little slower than what you would normally charge. And we could determine that by the output. So 6 amp output on this. Let's see what the output is on the standard battery charger. Oh, interesting. I don't know, maybe this is a higher power charger. It's saying on this small little car charger that it's outputting 6 amp, but on the main charger it's saying its output is 3.83 amp for the main charging battery, and then 2 amp total for the USB on here. So you may actually charge your battery faster with the car charger. That's interesting. Maybe they do that because they know in a pinch you need that battery charged fast when you're on the go. Cool guys, so you know what? I think that was such a long video that in this video I'm not going to fly this thing. I'm going to make another video shortly, so I have a little more time to go over all the functions in flight. I think it'll work better that way. But anyway, that was a first great little initial look at the DJI MAVIC Pro Fly More package. You get 2 extra batteries, you get all this stuff for a few $100 more, and it looks to me like that's going to be the one to get if you have a couple more $100 when you're buying this thing. Anyway guys, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget, I'll have the links for this stuff down in the description, and also that other video will be down there when that's ready too. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that full in-depth flight test. I'm going to go through everything, and I'm also going to have more videos to come on this flying down. I live in Hawaii on Maui, so I'm going to have some coastline videos, really beautiful shots, and really going to put this thing through its paces. Going to do range testing, all kinds of stuff. So stay tuned, watch out for that, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.